Welcome to the Calyrex Game Corner's Pokemon D&D campaign, featuring Cindy, a young vagabond from the Hoenn region with pyromaniac tendencies, Gimli, a stocky, burly miner from Sinnoh looking for his lost son, Elodie, an enthusiastic foodie and baker from Kalos, and Schmidt, an enigmatic man from Johto with a duck. My name is Rich, and I'm the Game Master, and this is Dunsparce and Drampa. After the most terrifying night of their lives, the Quacko Packo are mostly rested. Their bodies have mostly recovered besides some lingering pains and mental fog maintained by Cindy, and the few trainers that remained throughout the entire ordeal, being Scarlet, Zavo, and Poppy, have all agreed to assist the elders in repairing their home before they continue their own adventures. While the Packo and their Pokemon may have recovered, there is no doubt that each member of the party forever lost an innocent part of themselves on the night of the Draconid Festival. It is just before noon, one full day after Deoxys was seemingly defeated. Elodie, Cindy, Schmidt, and Gimli, what will you do? This is the first time in a very long time that there isn't super clear direction as far as your adventure, and there's many valid options.
Do have some valid options.
We did decide on something
last time, right?
Yeah, we came to a conclusion. Let me look at a map to try and remember.
Yeah, I was like, where's the book?
Elodie with the map. Let's go.
It's literally map time.
So there's something to do with those dots, right? Like, we probably should, like...
Right. Because I was like, we were going to go to... I think we were going to go to one of the, like, maybe the dark blue dot or something, and then go down to Rustboro. Do the gym there.
Wait, the one on the far right you're talking about? Or far left?
Far left, I mean.
Yeah.
Closest to us.
And once we get far enough away from Deoxys, maybe you can try and have Key Lime psychic to Kaz.
True, yeah.
You tried, but it didn't work because
right.
It was too...
Right. We gotta get Key Lime into a training arc to power up her telekinesis.
I think that's telepathy. Isn't telekinesis?
Yeah, telekinesis.
Stuff? But that's fine.
Yeah, same thing. It's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well do both. Moving stuff around with your mind is pretty cool.
If you bend a spoon, your telepathy will go further. So you can use it as like
I do have a twisty
TV
spoon.
antenna.
Just because there's some discussion, I might figure I'll add some flavor. You see the trainers and their Pokemon. They're like picking up rubble. They're tidying things up. The Pokemon that you see are in fact a Xatu, Absol, and a cactus Pokemon, which you haven't formally met before, but it's a shady looking cactus. And the center of town is generally being avoided. It's where the ceremonial stage is, and there is a bubble on the ground. And now that it's a little bit later, Deoxys's eyes have opened, and it's just kind of laying there, just staring, not moving.
What's it staring at?
Empty space, just staring straight up. It's like laying on the ground in the bubble. Its bottom of its body seems to be very slowly reforming, and it is just staring up.
Nice.
Well, that's concerning. That was quick.
What was the consensus? We did come to a consensus on the Deoxys situation. Was just to kind of leave it be for now, right?
Well, it was leave it be. We have to address the issue at a point, but it needs to be like, we have to bring Rayquaza to rectify the situation before someone breaks it out.
Right, because somebody's going to find out about it, and somebody's going to try.
It's vaguely on a timer.
Right.
But like, it's only on a timer if someone interferes with it, which I mean, plot. It could happen.
Should we talk to the people here and like stress the importance of not telling anybody what happened here today?
I feel like that's only going to make it worse.
That's fair. I feel like once you tell people not to do something, they're immediately like,
hey,
okay,
don't tell anyone about this because it could be really dangerous. Really dangerous sounds like a weapon I can sell. Great.
True.
Let me take some big baddies to this location and they'll unleash it and be able to obviously tame it, and it will not cause problems.
True. You just have to be like nonchalant about the whole thing. Like this has happened before. Like
it's in a bubble. No one touches the bubble. Maybe put like a wet paint sign on it, like so no one touches it.
We drape a blanket over it.
Yeah, honestly, just throw a blanket on it. Now I know people can enter the plane, right? We can enter and exit the plane at will, but will the blanket fall into the bubble? Probably
I don't
not.
think we can enter the bubble.
What were the rules?
Let's see.
What were the rules?
Friendly creatures may exit sanctuary but not enter, and then hostile or neutral creatures may not enter, and if inside, cannot exit.
Okay, never mind.
So
a blanket can cover it.
Is this the Quacko Packo's first line of action?
Put it under the rug.
Just literally put it under the rug.
I feel like building some sort of structure around it is a more permanent solution, but I feel like that's not really our problem. I don't know.
I could do that.
Oh.
I literally can do that.
With your crystal.
No, with Trevor. Trevor can literally build things.
Oh, that too. Okay.
I love that for Trevor.
Like, I throw a potion at him, he can sack as much HP as he needs to build structure around the bubble. And there's just a secret rock formation in the middle of this thing. It's like, no one look at this. And then still put the wet
I think
paint
we should
on
ask
it.
the elders if we can do that, or if we should.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You do that?
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You are seen by Walker and Jinga. Tomatoma is not present. You can either communicate your plan or just say that you told them.
I think communicate it just to see what they think of it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like,
and tell them. Yeah.
What I meant is you could RP it, or you could just say you told them. Either way is fine.
Oh, we just say we told them. No.
Yeah. Jinga says, I don't see why not. And Walker says, I trust you. You're very skilled as a trainer, but you should be very careful about laying these rocks because we do not want to be damaging the vessel that Deoxys is sealed in. Can you agree?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Then they say, by all means. And
Okay.
you
basically just adding more HP to this bubble effectively by making a bubble out of rocks.
Sure. Do you have any?
I mean, not exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like increasing its armor class, basically. Do you have any flavor for the structure that you build, or what? What does it look like?
Instead of it being like, I want to build it like not like a dome because I feel like that the structural integrity of a dome is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I build it more like a house. So like it's just straight up like not squared off roofs, but like cylindrical area with like more of a roof on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's more like more housing-esque structure. So it's like a kind of a cylinder with like kind of like a, I don't know, like a 4-pointed hat shape on top of it to kind of seal it in sort of deal.
Sure.
Or like a pointed cone on top or something. Just something that's a little bit more structural. So that way it's like not at risk of just like random crap happening to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can Cookie use like lava to like seal it shut?
Like weld it.
Yeah.
Cookie did do that once before. I think it required a check, but Cookie is now a Gudra, or perhaps it has a different name. It could be Magdra or something. Who knows what its name is? But regardless, yeah, they have to roll dexterity for a DC 5. Just don't get worse than a 5.
All right. Let's roll this dex. 13 plus
That's great.
3.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Cookie absolutely seals it up extra tight. Nice and good. Based on the structure that you described, Trevor probably loses like 35 HP, I think.
But yeah, that's fine. How much is a super potion heal? I forget the number.
We have a formula.
Yeah, I know we do. I just don't remember.
Super potion is 3d6 plus 6 or 50. No, that's the cost. Just kidding. Use the cost.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, you
like,
just pick 50.
It's either
That's way too
3d6
much.
plus 6 or more than that.
No, yeah. Sorry.
You said how much was it the cost to build the structure? 35?
Sure, yeah.
And then I heal, so 35.
I basically just consume a potion. Just consume a super potion. I don't care about the math.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that you do use one of your resources to make this happen.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Because I feel like realistically we'll have time. Like
Yeah, it's like it's a non-issue. I just need to
short
make sure.
rest and potion, yeah.
Right. I just need to make sure that you lose something for it.
Something is costing this.
Yes. After that's done, Walker and Jinga seem pretty impressed, and they ask, "Well then, I suppose you're on your way out of here, huh?"
I think so. Yeah.
This springs Tomatoma out of the elder's house, and Jinga rushes up to her and grabs something out of her arms. It looks like a large kind of leathery bag of some sort with an object in it. And Tomatoma is also holding 2 Pokeballs. It seemed like the entire day yesterday that you were resting. Tomatoma was not resting at all. And she looks exhausted and just completely out of it. But she comes up to the party and she says, will you please do me one last favor?
Jewel?
Of course.
Anything.
Tomatoma says, in order for Deoxys' seal to be effective, we need your help laying my Altaria to rest, distant, away from this place. And she gestures to the large bag that Jinga is holding. Who will receive it?
I'll do it.
Schmidt takes Tomatoma's Altaria. Tomatoma is also holding 2 Pokeballs. She says, these Pokeballs belong to the poor trainer who lost his life. And you can look at them and they're just regular Pokeballs and they have some scribbles of text on each of them. She says, neither of them will come out of their balls. And we're looking to do something with them, but whatever it is, they don't want to be here. So just for now, would you mind taking them with you?
Yeah, I'll take those 2.
Great. As Schmidt receives the balls, he can read the text on them. One of them says pride, and the other one says prejudice.
Okay.
Cute.
What
So
a bleeding
cute.
heart.
Oh, we should take them back to his family.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably the
We
best
have
idea.
to. We can't not.
I mean, they lived fairly close to Mauville, and I can
Well,
imagine.
That'll be like 3rd on the stop, right?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it's
that's not like
definitely not
highest
first on the list.
priority.
And then, yeah.
We're like wrapping around, right?
But
Mhm.
that'll be
wrap
we'll make
around.
it a point to stop there
Sure.
Right.
as we approach the area.
So that being said, Schmidt, please add pride and prejudice to your inventory since you will be carrying them, unless you don't want to.
Yes, let me get that sheet pulled up.
Okay.
Oh shit, I got a scroll too.
You sure do.
What do I do with that?
You looked at it before. You can hold on to it. You can get rid of it. You can burn it. You can eat it. Whatever you want.
I did. Did I look at that before?
You did.
Schmidt's just like, oh, what is this again? And then reads it.
Sure, because you're already
Right.
rifling through your bag. Yeah, it's a very old-looking map that seems to illustrate primarily ocean, and there is a mark between a small floating town and a large crater town. There's like a X there, and there's some text on the bottom, and it's in quotation marks as if it's important or something.
And I can't decipher what this is.
You can.
What the text is.
You can.
Okay. Do I need to roll to do that, or do I just do that?
No, you just do it. I'm going to read it to you, but I want to make sure it's exactly what I wrote down.
Gotcha.
It says, with jewel bright and borrowed might, I summon thee, Rayquaza.
I love rhymes.
With all of that tidied up, the walkers kind of huddle around the Quacko Packo and just express their gratitude and more or less are kind of aiming for a group hug. Do you all agree to this?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
That happens. You feel their warmth, you feel their gratitude, and you feel their sadness. After a long enough moment, the group hug kind of breaks, and Walker puts his hand on Schmidt's shoulder. And he says, grandson, promise me that no matter what happens, you stay true to your own path.
How do I respond to this?
That is up to you.
Grandson thing's a little soon. Haven't digested that yet.
Sure.
And then Schmidt's gonna like pinch like one of his fingers and like take it off him, and it's like, this is a little much. And then he's like, I'm going to be who I am, regardless.
Walker nods as if he approves of that response. Jinga, being the socially awkward guy that he is, gives a really just forced thumbs up and a smile. And Tomatoma, she waves gently. She seems exhausted, and she reminds everyone that they are welcome to come back whenever they like, despite the trek that it may be. And if you have no further business, you may begin to leave Meteor Falls. You've been here IRL since October, so it's been Been a while.
Crazy. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I feel like we've been here forever.
You guys
Because we went on that hiatus. It's been 4 months out of game. Holy.
You've been in a cave, dog. The real
Before
question
we
is,
go,
yeah.
I want to change of clothes.
Absolutely. In fact, I invite
Season
everyone,
4 outfit?
if they want to take 5 minutes to just brainstorm, Draconid textile outfit swaps if you want, or accessories.
Yes!
Okay. What would Draconid
This is
overalls
epic.
look like?
Look at it overall.
They look like something.
Well, like what color pattern, like palette does the Draconids use?
Mostly earth tones, and then green, an emerald green, haha, emerald, and like splatches of yellow and red. It's Rayquaza colors combined with the earthen colors of the surrounding.
Oh my God, I
cave.
get Rayquaza overalls
Sure, yeah.
and a yellow shirt.
This is
I'm
like
in.
exactly Elodie's style.
That's perfect.
Sarcasm, if you couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
I think my outfit changes are literally just going to be change the color of the shirt and the overalls, and then I just look the same.
Reminder: you don't have to have a whole outfit change. You could just get an accessory, or you could do nothing. But
We have to fit the scene though.
it's season
I'll
4.
figure this out.
I feel like we've done
I
an
mean,
outfit
it's
swap
fine.
every
Time.
season. So
Full on wants
Yeah,
like a
that's the
lore
goal.
keeper outfit.
lore keeper
Like
outfit.
the cloak, the hood, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Schmidt, you absolutely are entitled to that. We'll say that previously, when you were going over like lore keeper stuff, and maybe you were tending to yourself while the other party members were doing other things, they were waking up, taking naps and stuff. You were gifted a tattered cloak that has like a feathered collar, seemingly with like thick black feathers at the neck. You were given like Draconid sandals if you wish. You can wear those, as well as like a tight fitting unbuttoned like black top made out of some, it seems like tanned Pokemon skin of some sort, probably a dragon type, as it has like a scaly texture to it. And then whatever pants you want as well. But that is Walker described to you previously that at least the cloak belonged to the lore keeper that was before Zinnia.
Yeah. Schmidt throws all that on.
He
Hell
gets
yeah.
this dope cloak. I'm just going to be Rayquaza colored overalls. I'm into it.
You roll a dice, Schmidt. Roll a dice.
Roll a dice. Just a D20.
Yep.
9.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll again?
No, I don't.
You sounded disappointed.
No, I'm not disappointed. I need to make a calculation. You can add this to your inventory. This is the lore keeper's cloak, and it has an effect while you are at full HP. While Schmidt is at full HP, Schmidt gets an additional +1 to stealth. Just stealth.
Sick.
I was going to continue, but I was like, it's a 9. I think that's fine.
Yeah, that's a 9.
Yeah, Schmidt gets the lore keeper outfit. Gimli gets like really loud Rayquaza overalls, just really kind of gross.
For, yeah.
Cindy and Elodie, do you have any fashion updates?
I'm thinking.
They have
Give me a
options
moment.
here. Like what are we?
So you're not gonna find like hoodies or like t-shirts. You're gonna find practical clothing, and you're gonna find like kind of maybe not armor, but like kind of casual warrior. That's not a thing, but like, you know, like
Casual warrior.
like something you'd wear if you went to go hunt in the cave, right? Like it's not really armor, but it has flexibility and mobility, and it like nothing baggy, but also nothing that exposes too much skin besides your arms, because you need flexibility for that. So simple stuff, not really anything with graphics on it. There might be like the Draconid pattern that's very geometric, but besides that, earthy tones, dark colors, and then Rayquaza accents, basically.
Cindy might opt for a pair of pants rather than her shorts. So she has her hoodie instead of her denim shorts.
So
like her
full,
hoodie
like,
that she has, and then like pants.
Like down to the ankle pants.
I mean, if they have capris, I feel like she'd wear capris.
They in fact do. They don't call them capris, of course, but they are pants that are like 3/4
cropped pants.
Yeah. You may do that. Any particular color out of the options? Probably something dark, but up to you.
I was thinking of like dice rolling it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
What should I roll?
D6. Roll a D6.
1.
They are just black.
Okay.
They have pretty surprisingly reasonable pockets, though, which is kind of nice.
Oh, real pockets?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So, anything else? Accessories?
I think that's it.
Okay. Elodie. I was going to say maybe the most fashionable of the group. Probably. She has the best aesthetic, at least, or aesthetic sense.
Right. She does have a very particular aesthetic that I'm struggling to make work with this right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
I gasped because I was like, Elodie needs her gauntlets from the AI story.
No way.
But I just think that's funny.
Yeah.
If she maybe
That
just a simple pair of gloves. Right?
Yeah.
Casual warrior.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah.
some like Wonder Woman bracers.
Right?
Too true.
So full gloves are an option. Fingerless gloves are an option. Pretty popular with trainers, but also convenient for holding weapons. And as is, you could do bracers also. As far as like full on like gauntlets, like Vi from League of Legends, you will not find that.
No, that's fair. I think a casual option would be better anyways. Fingerless gloves or bracers? I like the fingerless glove idea. Let's go with that.
Sure. You can do that. Any thoughts on color or pattern or anything?
I'm gonna doubt they have anything floral.
No. If there's any
like a
yeah.
Green would probably be fine.
Okay. You can do that. As far as like styles or like patterns, that isn't just colors. They have the kind of geometric art kind of style, and then you can also get like a scaly style. Scaly. Yeah. Scaly gloves. Yeah.
That could actually be really cool.
Scaly green gloves. Love
Why
it.
not?
Ooh.
Love it.
Great. Outfit update. You love to see it. It's been a minute. Yeah, we did Fortree, we did Mauville, and we did here. Did we do another one? I think that was it.
I think that was it, yeah.
Yeah. It's about time. Get some goodies. Okay.
True.
Anything else that you want to do with Draconid Village before you depart?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just curious about the logistics of the Altaria. Like, how big is it?
It is roughly 40 pounds. The bag is bigger than it weighs. Like, if that makes sense. Like, visually, like, it looks big, but it's all fluff, as a Altaria trainer is probably familiar with.
Be super sick if we had a wagon right now.
Do they have a wagon?
They
classic Draconid wagons.
Yeah, not really. Wheels are not really a Draconid thing. Unfortunately, they have carts and things that they use to move large objects, but nothing that would be as convenient as a wagon.
Okay.
So, if that's all, my next question for you is: what direction do you go? If you're exiting this chamber, there seem to be 3 possible vectors. 1. There's a big ass hole where the mountain used to be that is in the shape of a giant Tyranitar that leads out to the rocky cliffs that you could potentially sweep around the mountain. Because at this point, you're close to sea level. You're not like high. Speaking of high and ascending, you could take the very, very long staircase the same way you entered. Your third option is to fly through the ceiling, as there are little meteor holes riddled through the ceiling. Or perhaps you have another idea that I haven't mentioned that I'm completely open to.
You know, I kind of want to take a look out the mountain hole.
The mountain hole.
And see if we can at least like gather maybe what happened there, or if we saw the mountain move a direction.
Sure. Yeah, you are welcome to navigate north. A little, the elders seem a little perplexed that you would choose that direction, except for Walker. Walker's like confident because Walker's like, oh, they know what they're doing. Toma is just kind of, I'm going back to sleep, and Jinga is suspicious. Not suspicious. He's just like, why? Why did they go that way? Whoever is leading, which I'm assuming is Schmidt, can roll me a perception check.
Rolling a dice, a perception. That is a 18.
18. Nice. The first thing that Schmidt notices is how fucking cool his cloak is. He's just kind of like he can see out of his peripheral, like just the thick, like draconic black feathers that are around his collar are so sick. They surely belong to a Pokemon, but it might take some research to find out what Pokemon those feathers were stripped from. Anyways, he notices from his regular vision, not his peripheral, that he is really just on a big old cliff. He can turn to his left, and there's enough space for like 1 or 2 people to walk, and then it just descends into the ocean. There are seabirds flying all over the place. You can see some fishy Pokemon in the water, and among them, pretty close below Schmidt, are 2 Pokemon that are having a quarrel. Roll a D100.
81.
81. Okay, cool.
Yep.
There are 2 Pokemon in the water, probably like 50 feet below Schmidt, under his feet. And they are 2 large blue winged serpentine Pokemon, and their mouths are agape and they are roaring and they are kind of smashing their faces into each other. And Schmidt feels like this is kind of a departure from the battle scene I just described. Schmidt feels like based on his situation, he rolled a good perception check. He is probably at the far northwest corner of the Hoenn region.
Okay.
That is what you see. There are paths that go east and west that are...
Can I roll an additional perception on the hole specifically?
The hole itself, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to call that investigation because you're like sussing out a specific thing.
Okay. Investigation. I am proficient in that.
Mm-hmm. What's funny, I just want a quick commentary. The investigation thing was something that we did in session 0 it was like a Johto trait.
No, it was history.
Oh, history was the Johto trait. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it's just so appropriate for Schmidt with like his sus list, having like investigation and potentially insight being things that he is like familiar with. I think it's funny.
The history thing, because he's a lore keeper, and it's like session 0, you're just like, oh, by the way, you're proficient in history.
Yeah.
No reason, maybe it'll come up, just your proficient history. And I'm just like, all right.
Hell yeah.
I believe you.
Anyways, what'd you roll?
That was an 18.
Another 18. Look at you go.
Well, it was natural 14, but I have a +4 proficiency modifier.
Cool. What are you trying to figure out about the mountain hole?
Where the fuck did it go?
You rolled high enough to know. You are looking around and you look up and you can see that there are giant handprints and footprints belonging to a Tyranitar that are ascending the Meteor Falls mountain. Far beyond your eye can see, because as I said, as of currently, you're at sea level. Basically, you're very close to sea level, so it's like at the top of the mountain. Apparently, that's what the tracks look like.
Do we investigate? Do we report? Do we ignore? Is it not our problem? Group would like some feedback.
I mean, do you think the mountain just like lives in this hole all the time? Like, probably's got stuff to do.
Right? He's got like a to-do list.
He probably has stuff to do.
I love that. I'm picturing
groceries to pick up, bro.
Like a shopping bag, a little notebook, and he has to put on his bifocals to read the list.
That's so funny.
Okay.
No, I think your feedback is great. That's what
I just love that statement. They got stuff to do, bro.
I agree.
I feel like
I
we're
think
on
he's
our
really
way
doing
out.
stuff.
I don't know if that's our concern.
We're not too far away from the village. Could we just double back and just ask?
Sure. Yeah, you can do that quickly.
My anxiety is mountain like loose and does something to the Deoxys bubble.
Oh, sure.
Sure, that's reasonable.
Do you have an elder in mind, or you just want to ask any of them the first one you see?
First one I see, probably not going to be Tomatoma. I'm tired. I don't want to bother.
Correct. It's Jinga, because as I said earlier, he was kind of suspicious as to why you were leaving that way. And the first thing he says before you say anything is, that's not the way out.
Yeah, I know that. I was just wanting to look at the hole where the giant thing was. Do you know anything about that?
Jinga says, oh, yeah, the mountain. Yeah, what was your question?
Where the fuck?
Jinga chuckles, and he says, the mountain abides by his own schedule. They'll be back at some point.
He's got stuff to do.
He had stuff to do. Okay.
He has stuff to do.
He truly has stuff.
Very busy.
Love that.
He's got more people to fight.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a d4 and see who I get to roll this. Elodie, roll a d20.
Epic. It was a natural 20.
No way, you're joking.
I'm literally not.
Okay. Based on where you are standing, an event happened like 3 days ago in this exact position. And Elodie turns her head and looks over the horizon, and there's a small little pink speck, just like as far as the eye can see, and Elodie sees it, and it is getting bigger and bigger very quickly. It is probably about like 14 or 15 feet above her head, and then all of a sudden, zooming over the Packo's head and into the chamber is the nose of a nose pass, just flying through the air. And it collides into the back wall with a big boom right where the stairs are, and it seems to stop moving.
Wild.
The nose
supposed to
knows.
leave. It took out the stairs.
It didn't
Did
take
out
it did not take out the stairs. It left an impact by the stairs.
Okay.
Is Homeboy okay?
Homeboy's
good?
been dead for a while. That's just his nose.
Oh, it was just the nose.
Yeah.
Jinga seems like unperturbed, strangely. He's like, oh yeah.
This happen a lot.
We just have a pile of noses.
I was about to say, yeah, Elodie, pick up the nose because you can use it as a compass with your map.
Does it still work after it's dead?
Are you gonna check it out?
I mean,
I
it
don't
could
know.
have flown to. I don't know if the stairs are at north.
Stairs are south.
True.
Oh,
The stairs are south, correct?
Oh.
but you still check.
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's see.
Elodie, give me an investigation on the nose.
Got you.
The nose.
Oh, that is a 21.
21. That is very good. Elodie notices two things. One, the nose is like constantly wriggling, which is a little unusual for nose paths, which are known to always face north. It's the other thing she notices is that it's very heavy, and among the wriggling on the back side of the nose, she can see a very small little stone, pretty much like a round stick figure, just kind of poking out, and it has a really small, stupid face. And it seems as if Nosepass is somehow, with magnetism, reforming its body very slowly.
Okay. Cool. Just like Deoxys, am I right?
Oh.
The real alien threat was Nosepass all along.
Nose the whole time.
Well, that's cool. I'm gonna leave it be.
Okay, it is approximately 150 pounds, so it's probably a good call.
Yeah, I don't think I can carry that, unfortunately.
Well, now you're all the way back by the stairs, but you're welcome to go back out through the mountain hole as well, or fly through the ceiling, or something else I haven't even thought of.
Stairs.
Stairs?
Stairs.
Any doubters? Your fearless leader has spoken.
We must follow the fearless leader.
Great.
True.
Is it just 4?
There's just 4 of you.
1, 2, 3. Does our box work right now?
You haven't tried.
I would like to try the box.
Okay. Gimli's the keeper of the box. Do you share the box link with Schmidt?
Of course. Yep.
It does not work.
Sick. Okay. I can't fly everyone out of here, so stairs are our only option.
And everyone's on board?
Okay.
Yeah.
Since we are at the point of exiting, I would like to roll call if anyone has any Pokemon out with them. I'm assuming Quacko's out.
Always.
Okay. Who else?
It's aubergine in the basket.
Yes, Aubergine is in the basket, but the gourd is away from Aubergine.
Correct.
And Cabbage is out as well.
Great. Cindy, Gimli.
I have everyone in balls, Trevor, Bean, Lasagna, and who's the last one? Who did I recall last? Lebowski.
Cool. Is anyone out with you or no?
No.
Okay. Cindy.
All of my Pokemon are away,
Okay.
including the recently caught Larvastar.
Great.
So that means I think I sent Fang to the box.
That's correct. Yes. So while the Pokélink that Lynette gave you doesn't work here, it seems like the Pokeball send to cyberspace range is a little bit bigger.
Yeah. So I have Soli, Cookie, Larvastar. I think that's it. Right? Do we have 3 or 4?
You have 4 at this point.
I think then Izzy is the other one I have because I sent Fang to the...
Great. Yeah, I was more curious if anyone was out traveling with you, but party recap is good as well. Without struggle, the Quacko Packo, without their 5th member for a long time, ascend the stairs. A few stairs up, they pass the funny nose pass crater, and it seems like Scarlet has already kind of like run over and is assessing the situation and how she may help to patch it up. They ascend the stairs for a while. This is a very dramatic, steep set of stairs. And they get to the top. Despite it being around afternoon, it is at this point that the cave becomes quite dark again. Does the party press forward?
Should I send Cookie out to provide some light? I kind of asked the party.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Cookie's out.
You do that. Cookie's light in her new form is a little more glowing. It's a little brighter, a little more ambient. There's a little more light that you can see. Cindy, roll a d20.
The nat 20.
Let's go. Very pog. You're walking down the tunnel, and you get to the point where when you're entering Meteor Falls, there were 3 separate paths. The one that is currently to your right is where you met Zavo and all the spiders, and then the one currently to your left is where there was a cave of bones and where Bean went to evolve. And directly ahead of you, there is one pretty straight path forward that follows a river, a natural river that is somehow from the top of the cave. Who knows where it comes from? In front of you, there are 5 Pokemon that are all kind of familiar, and they're standing in your path, not necessarily aggressively, but they're standing there. There are 3 Pokemon that are floating, and they look like things that you'd see if you looked up at the sky. There is a rocky Pokemon with a shell. There's a rocky Pokemon that looks like the moon. There's a rocky Pokemon that looks like the sun. The moon and the sun and the other, all 3 of them aren't particularly expressive. There are 2 more Pokemon that are familiar. One of them is intimately familiar with Cindy. There is a massive towering Aggron holding a little baby Aeron. And those 2 have expressions, especially the Aggron. And the Aggron looks at the Packo and gives a bow. And the 3 other rock-type Pokemon kind of float around the Packo excitedly, and they part ways and clear the path in front of you.
I didn't expect that.
We've gained the respect of the mountain Pokemon.
Let's go.
Sick.
Okay.
They all seem very, very reverent of the Packo. And it almost seems as if at least a few of them would be willing to escort you.
Oh, sick. Do we want an escort, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Mother Aggron and her child she is carrying stomp off. They stomp away across the river. The 3 floating rock Pokemon excitedly kind of circle around you and guide you pretty swiftly, without incident, to the top of the waterfall in the heart of Meteor Falls. Nothing sketchy or bad is happening because you have really generous escorts who live here. You are faced with a new challenge, and that is descending this waterfall that you ascended before. It's a pretty steep drop. It's about 60 feet. What is your plan to descend it?
I'm going to have to relay it. Unless Gimli thinks he can. I can carry 3. Gimli, you could find your way down on your own.
Yeah.
If not, I'll have to send someone back up for you.
No, that's reasonable. I can do that.
Okay.
Thanks again to your Rocky Guardians that Cindy encountered while leading the party out of Draconid Village. There are no threats to you, which is fantastic. And Altaria can successfully carry everyone and their belongings safely down without incident. Now you are at a crossroads. To your left, you see the path that you entered, where there's a cave entrance, and where you previously met Wes, the Unovan merchant with his shiny Bouffalante. There is a path that you have not taken that is south, and you can see that there's some muddy, sandy slopes that kind of interact with the river that is here, and leads to a new path that you haven't been to. It is now the Packo's time to decide which path they are taking. Are they going south, or are they going east?
What does the map say? Like, where would the south one take us?
Does any party members know? Like above table potentially?
Above
Only
table,
we had
I
somebody
know,
with
for
a
sure.
map.
Yeah, above table you guys can share. I feel like I don't have to describe this necessarily. It's fun if you guys discover it a little.
We want to go south.
Cool.
South goes to next gym, and then we can swoop back around back to Malville.
And maybe we'll be far enough away from Deoxys to telecommunicate with Kaz and find Sam.
It is an option.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
An option I agree with. Yeah.
We should check the local hospital in that town if possible too, and see if Sam's there. Like, just check and see if Sam's there.
Sure. You absolutely may.
Definitely fair.
You do that. The party decides to head south. There are some slippery, sandy slopes that are kind of muddy, and I will request the people make really basic dexterity checks. DC 8 for each human. Gotta roll some dice every now and then.
Okay.
I have passed.
I have
Dex
passed.
Passed.
Okay.
What'd you say the DC was?
8.
Okay. So like a 21 with Okay.
Yeah, that'll do it. Absolutely. Everyone descends the sandy slopes without issue. As Schmidt is descending, he can hear... You know what? Sorry, not Schmidt. As the group is descending, Cindy hears a roar from deep in the cave that isn't threatening. It sounds like the roar of like a child Pokemon, and she recognizes it to sound similar to one of the Pokemon that she has, and she kind of smiles about it because she's reminded of a Pokemon that she caught not too long ago.
Dang.
They make it out of the cave. And for the first time in days, the better part of a week, the Quacko Packo is exposed to just raw noon sunlight. And man, is it bright. It is kinda a lot. For the next few minutes, the party is going to have a harder time making perception checks and potentially other checks that involve sight because their eyes are adjusting right now. It is rough. They are on Route 115. You can't see particularly well. You can't see too far, but you're kind of standing at where the mountain meets kind of more regular grassland. It's pretty pleasant. There's still meteoric impacts around you, kind of cratering the soil. There's lots and lots of flying type Pokemon around here, lots of birds chirping in the air. A particular type of bird, like a bluish and red bird, and their flocks are kind of all over the place. They seem to be native to Hoenn. You also hear the sound of the ocean. You are very, very close to the Western Hoenn Ocean, and there are sandy beaches pretty close below you where there are athletic people and Pokemon doing exercises and running around and trying to get all fit on this nice day. There is a gentle sliding slope that leads to a grassy kind of terrain, and just off in the distance, even though you can't see very well, you'll undoubtedly see a city skyline in the daytime. Is there any plan of action on this route, or are we all simply proceeding?
Proceeding.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to propose something. When we all leveled up most recently, what level were we?
Let's find out.
Where's my level?
9.
I'm
9.
9, yes.
You all should be 9. Yep.
Yes.
You are all good enough trainers, and you're familiar enough with your preferred types that on any new route you encounter, you are welcome to make rolls just to see what the wildlife is that corresponds with your preferred type. I'm not saying you have to, but I just want to remind you here and now, because I haven't talked about it before, that is something that you may do if you are interested.
Okay.
That being said, you don't have to, and I need, who hasn't rolled an encounter thing yet? I need Gimli to roll a d20.
19.
19. Ooh, very good. Along the way, as you guys are walking with sun in your eyes, kind of squinting, you can't see. Some of you got your hands like over your eyebrows because it's so bright and so annoying. I imagine Schmidt might have his cloak pulled up over his face, or who knows. There is a voice of a small girl who is off to your left, more or less in the grass, and she says, "Excuse me," in a very kind of insisting and maybe almost persistent or rude tone. She says, "Trainers over here. What are you? Stop walking." Do you take a look at her?
No, keep walking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna look.
Okay. There is a small girl, maybe school-aged, elementary school age. She's probably like 6 years old, and she has a really ramshackled makeshift table. And there are lots and lots of goods in boxes. And she is wearing a very funny outfit that is like primarily like brown and green. And she's wearing a sash that has little badges on it. And she says, "You almost missed me. I'm Daisy. I'm a Poke Scout. And I need you to buy some of my cookies now." And on her table, there is a small star-shaped pink Pokemon with little brown ears. And it is oh so very cute.
I will absolutely buy cookies from this child.
Great. Daisy is delighted. She says, "Give me all you got." I'm kidding. This will just be $5 Poké per box.
Not a robbery.
$5 is a reasonable price. I will buy a box of cookies.
You do that. Please remove $5 Poké from your inventory and include a box of Poke Scout cookies.
What flavors do they have?
They have, it seems that Daisy only carries one particular flavor, and it is Poke Scout flavor. It is very ambiguous. It is strangely gives you no information, and there's a picture of a cookie on the box, and it just kind of looks like a plain brown cookie. There's nothing on the box that would suggest anything about what it tastes like.
I'm gonna try.
So no
one
Thin
now.
Mints?
Does Schmidt ask this?
No.
Okay.
Schmidt's like looming in the corner.
Yeah.
Like, he's got his hood up. He's like back to the rest of whatever's going on.
You said you try one, Elodie?
Yes.
Okay, roll a d20.
Another nat 20.
You're
Okay.
insane.
You're
Okay.
You're correct.
Rigged.
Elodie.
I need a video of you putting those dice in salt water.
Elodie.
What does that do?
If it's weighted, it'll put the weighted side up.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's news to me. Elodie takes a bite of the ambiguously titled Poke Scout cookie, and with her baker's sense, and the sweetest thing she's tasted in several days, she is able to determine exactly, without a shadow of a doubt, each individual ingredient that is in the cookie. She tastes a nut butter of some sort, without question. There's sugar, there's oil, there's salt. I'm not going to go too in depth, but these are roughly your equivalent of the real world Girl Scout cookies of tagalongs. They
Yum.
are less appetizing looking, but they are basically peanut butter cookies. And they're pretty good. Elodie knows in the back of her head she could definitely do better. But for their purpose and for their fundraising purposes, seemingly, unless Daisy's really a con artist, they're worth it for the price.
I will thank her for the delicious cookies.
Great.
Tell her good luck on her business ventures.
Daisy says, "Thank you. You make a young entrepreneur like me so happy." And her little baby Pokemon that's with her looks at you and actually makes a roll. Nope, it tried. This little baby star-shaped Pokemon locked eyes with Elodie and tried to perform an attack of some sort, and it makes a face that is like it's trying too hard to look really cute, and in turn it looks kind of ugly. It puts on kind of a smirk, and it's like when you smile too long and your face hurts. It looks like that this little Cleffa is experiencing that moment right now. It's a little unsettling.
Does its
Cleffa
curl stick
uncurl.
straight up? Yeah.
Does it uncurl?
Let me roll for that. Yeah. As it is focusing intensely, trying to perform baby doll eyes unsuccessfully, it gets so frustrated and its forehead gets so tense that the tuft of hair on its face, on its forehead, just starts to extend and lengthen. And then all of a sudden, it's got like a little, I'm not going to say erection. It has like a pole of hair
Keep that in.
that is focused, from its forehead, and this Cleffa has seemingly unfurled itself, and Daisy looks very embarrassed, and she says, no, put that away.
Yes, perfect.
At first, Daisy was beckoning you all to come buy her cookies, and now she cannot wait for you to leave.
We embarrassed a child. Let's go.
Another achievement for the Quacko Packo, embarrassing children. Very good.
Nothing but W's today.
Embarrassing children, setting children on fire, not being able to push over a child.
All I know is
Kidnapping children. We're killing it.
As the Quacko Packo descends down the hill, they are acknowledging and noticing that they're starting to see more and more varieties of people. There's just more people around. They've been seeing the same people in Draconid Village for so long. And they also notice that their expressions are not the same as the Quacko Packos. It seems that they have not had an incident such as them. Everyone has either neutral or positive expressions, and it almost seems like that everyone that they've been crossing paths with was more or less oblivious or didn't fully understand what had happened, what the Quacko Packo has experienced the past couple nights. So, something to note for the party, I suppose. As they descend, they come across the grassy hills rolling into a city street, and there's a sign to their left as they are approaching in a southern direction. Well, they're from the north. As they approach southwards, they see a sign that says, "Welcome to bustling Rustboro City."
Roxanne's calling.
Rustboro City is one of the largest cities in the Hoenn region, as could have been determined from Elodie's map. It is, out of the cities they've been to, it is junior to Mauville. It seems like this is a place of business. It seems that this is perhaps the main hub of industry in the Hoenn region, and there's a particularly imposing, massive skyscraper pretty close to the northwestern corner. There's a big old sign at the top of it that says Devon, Devon. As they continue to look around, they see shops, they see apartments, they see a school with lots of young trainers milling about. They see a gym. Or do they have any plans of business? There's much more things in the city than I described, but you are in Rustboro City. It is about noon. What do you want to do?
Yeah, Schmidt sees all the business and he feels simultaneously more at ease and stressed out at the same time.
Yeah, there's actually a shocking similarity between this city and Goldenrod City. Not only is its continental position basically identical to their region, but the population size is about the same. Even the infrastructure looks like pretty much the same. Schmidt feels pretty cozy here.
Okay. I say group up at the Pokemon Center. You said it was like afternoonish when we were leaving, right?
Correct. It's still afternoon. I wouldn't describe it as evening yet.
Yeah.
Is there a hospital in town?
Yes, there is medical services adjacent to the Pokemon Center.
Yeah. Head there.
It'd be weird to walk in and be like, "Hey, Sam."
Yeah, that's your first plan is straight to the hospital looking for Sam. You do that. Yeah, you enter the person hospital, which is apparently connected through the inside to the Pokemon Center. And there is a receptionist, and she looks at you all, and she assesses you. You can tell she performs somewhat of an ocular pat down in the sense she's looking for injuries. She may observe that you're tired, but she doesn't necessarily observe what exactly you're here for. So, therefore, she asks, "Hello, what brings you here today?"
I say, "Hey, we had a friend that had a little incident and we got separated from. Was there someone that came through here recently with like a head injury? Like a rock had flown through their eye?"
Brought in by Alakazam, a rough looking Alakazam.
At first, when you say head injury, the receptionist kind of looks like, oh, like she doesn't say anything, but it seems like that's something that's pretty common and that she won't be able to determine much from that. But when you describe a rock through the eye, her eyes kind of like look very, what's the word? Surprised. And she says, well, we do have, we take care of a lot of patients with head injuries, as happens in a very industrious city. People need to remember to wear their hard hats, she says as a little aside. She says, but we haven't had anyone come in with a foreign object like a rock in their eye. I'm sorry. Can I help any more?
Okay, that's simultaneously good and bad news at the same time. So, no, I think that's all we needed. Thank you very much. Yeah.
He says, absolutely. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay. Thank you.
You exit the hospital. As you exit the hospital, there are a group of teenagers walking by, and one of them is holding a very funny looking Pokemon in the air. It looks like a Pokemon with a rocky carapace, and it has a set of 6 feathers on either side of its body. It has big old rocky claws and has really funny looking stalk eyes. And there's this group of 2 boys, perhaps teenagers, say, "No way, I can't believe you actually got that rock to come to life." And then the other kid says, "Look at it, it's so cool. I never thought I'd seen Anorith before." And this little funny little bug rocky Pokemon is kind of like, it looks kind of confused, but also satisfied. They are crossing your path. That's the immediate thing that you see as you exit the hospital. But my next question would be, what is next for the Packo?
Do we have any fossils?
Yes.
Mine was an egg.
No, you have a fossil.
Cindy's correct.
I do, you're right. Yeah, forgot about that.
Bring it to life.
True. The fin fossil. Yeah, mystery fin fossil. Let's get it identified.
Yeah. Maybe above table you know where it is, but in table perhaps not. But this might be your perfect opportunity to determine.
Ask the kid.
The kid? Why not ask the person who works at the place?
No, asking the kid where it is.
What the place.
Oh, true. Okay. I thought he just came from there. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
No,
okay.
Fine.
I don't have a good track record with teenagers. Somebody else is going to have to ask the kid.
Oi!
You think I have a good track record with kids?
Hello, kid. As I am a fellow...
How do you do fellow kids?
Cindy is a fellow kid. Did we
forget?
Cindy,
go over and talk to the fellow kids. Hey.
Communicate with your kind.
That's a cool Pokemon. Where'd you make the rock come alive?
This is Cindy?
Yes.
I love that. That's hilarious. Yeah, despite how awkward Cindy asked this, it's almost like the teenager is like, they have a rapport automatically. It just works. And this 14-year-old guy is like, "Oh, yeah. We went to the Devon building, and on the second floor, they got all these scientists." And then the friend who's with them is like, "But they're going to check what you're there for, and they need to know how many badges you have."
Oh, how many badges do you guys have?
They look at each other, and they say, "We each have 1 badge."
Oh, sick. That's not a problem. Thank you.
They say, "Of course." And the big, weird, shrimpy guy gives you a really funny looking wave. The way his stalk eyes are set up, it looks like he's looking in every direction at once.
I wave really as close as I can get without being super awkward, because I know this is already awkward, but hi, reach my hand out all the way
D20,
towards him. Hi,
D20,
buddy.
D20.
Oh goodness.
D20 right now.
I don't know why the way you said that got me.
You better roll that freaking D20.
D20 right now.
13?
13.
Okay, yeah. No ill consequences here. The Anorith kind of waves back. And again, you're looking at it, and it's never not making eye contact with you. It's kind of unnerving. It is, just no matter how you look at it, it's looking at your eyes. If you saw it from behind, it'd be looking at your eyes. So
it's a wild.
He's so friend-shaped. He's a cool little guy.
Kind of is. That's a good point. What's next for the Packo? To the Devon Corporation?
I walk backwards towards the rest of the group, giving the teens finger guns, and rejoin the group.
Yeah, the flavor.
Schmidt pulls his hood over his head even further so no one can see his face.
This probably won't come up, but for any social checks with Cindy involving anyone younger than 18, she will have an advantage for the rest of the day. And for anyone older than 18, she will have disadvantage.
Cindy's cool.
He's how do you do, fellow kids?
No cap. Cindy bussin'. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm too old to make a joke
no
like
cap
that.
For real on God.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get that rock boy from?
Can I retcon that's what Cindy said?
Absolutely, yeah.
No cap, for real.
Where'd
you get that rock boy from? He be bussin'.
Yeah.
Schmidt's I didn't know Cindy was bilingual.
Oh, these kids. My son used to talk like that all the time. I hope he still does. Hope he gave that up for his travels.
That's lit, bro.
That's lit, bro.
No idea what he ever said.
It's a moment of realization for the Packo as they, they've been a party for a few weeks now, and they've faced many incredible challenges, whether it was the burial of many people, whether it was fighting a turned pumpkin, whether it was exploring the magma energy hideout, and then dealing with the Deoxys. They've been dealing with some real life shit, and they all kind of realize in this moment that Cindy is really, really a child still, which is a little unnerving.
A lot of trauma for a child to experience, and she's just like, yeah, finger guns, almost died 6 times.
Because we have
grandparents are still missing. Hell yeah.
Because we have some focus on Cindy, I would like everyone besides Cindy to roll a history check real quick.
Oh. I'm proficient in that.
Oh, very
because
cool.
of the lore keeper.
So I'm enjoying this fat 8.
Yeah, that's a fat 22.
Okay.
Right there.
My God. The lore keeper.
The lore keeper.
Elodie, what'd you get?
Fat 4.
Fat 4. Okay.
Huge.
One moment.
4. No.
I used a different dice. Oh.
Schmidt.
The not rigged dice.
Oh, we don't get to know about history. Let's go.
Schmidt.
Oh, no.
You remember that Cindy's birthday is in 2 days.
Oh shit.
Cool.
Cool.
Everyone is marching over to the Devon Corporation, the largest building in town, and they all notice as they walk by a familiar building, a Pokemon Mart. Perhaps they might go there later. They approach the largest building in town, and there are large men in suits and sunglasses standing at the doors. Does the party decide to enter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden feel not appropriately dressed for this.
Schmidt is starting to look more and more like a fantasy hero, so it's not entirely out of place for Pokemon trainers to dress a little zany. I mean, you guys have seen some trainers that wear the equivalent to the fursuits. They'll wear like Charizard outfits, and people refer to them as Pokemaniacs. So it's not the weirdest thing these people have ever seen. But for a formal office building, it is a little funny. But maybe Schmidt is only self-conscious because of his past. I don't know. That's up to him to decide.
That's probably it.
Does everyone enter?
Yeah, Cindy's wearing pants instead of shorts. That's already an upgrade.
That's true. That's already a little more professional. You enter the Devon Corporation. You are in the lobby. What a fantastic building. The tiles are squeaky clean. There's a big glass circle in front of you. It's like the walkway is made of glass, and below it, it looks like someone just put a fossil bed. There is just so much geology happening below your feet, and on the walls there are photographs of rock formations and mountains and things that Gimli would probably be pretty into. There's a receptionist at a large round desk in front of the glass circle who is talking on the phone using a headset. She says, "You know the president's schedule. He won't be able to see you today." And then she notices that you have all entered. And she says, "Hold on, I'll have to put you on hold." And she gets your attention and she says, "Welcome in. I'm assuming you're trainers. Welcome to the Devon Corporation. What can I do for you today?"
Fossil shit.
Fossil
I
shit?
believe we're looking for floor 2 for some fossil stuff.
They say, "Oh, very well. Geologic and other scientific studies. I will need to know, as trainers, how many badges you possess."
3.
I think
True.
3.
Do you flash them? Do you show them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You all whip out your matching sets of badges, some of them stored more carefully than others. And the receptionist says, "Very well, you may go on ahead." And there is an elevator and there's a set of stairs, each guarded by a man in a suit with sunglasses. They all look eerily similar. They're all big, strong, bald, and they kind of all look the same. They just have slightly different skin tones.
All right, cool. Let's go up these stairs.
Up the stairs you go. You enter what is funnily basically just an office. There are cubicles everywhere, but for some reason, this office is also somewhat of an attraction. There are people in lab coats running about, and there is a pair of scientists who are fiddling with very, very interesting looking machines. One of them happens to have crazy wild hair and big Coke bottle glasses, and he is joined by a Pokemon that is made of metal and looks like a bell. The other one is standing there, and he is a little more well kept, but he also somewhat looks like a mad scientist, but just a little more put together. And standing beside him is a Pokemon that looks like Genghis Tyrantrum if it were small. It seems like they might have an idea of what you are here for, but they are busy. Do you approach them?
I will leave Fossil Man to take point on this one.
Oh yeah, we'll approach him.
Very good. Okay, great. What do you say as you approach? These two are having a conversation currently, so you may interrupt or you may listen. That is up to you.
I mean, I would probably just interrupt, honestly.
Okay, you do that. What do you say?
Oh, I got a fossil here. I heard you boys can revive it for me.
They turn around, and the more calm-looking one looks very pleased, and the mad scientist-looking one looks very disappointed. And the calm-looking one says, "Yes, please come here. My name is Gerald. I'm the resident scientist for Fossil Resurrection. Welcome to the Devon Corporation. What kind of fossil do you have for me?"
It's got like a weird fin shape on it. I'm not an expert, so I wouldn't know what it is, but...
Do you hand it to him to investigate?
Yes. Yep.
You do that. Gerald, the scientist, takes a look, and he says, "Oh, without a doubt, this is a sail fossil belonging to the Pokemon whose geologic record has been primarily found in the Kalos region. This is the fossil of an Amora. Would you like it to be revived?"
Ooh.
That would be fantastic.
He says, "Very well." And he eagerly takes your fossil and puts it in this funny looking machine. It reminds you of an egg incubator, but like much, much larger. And he places it in, and a cylindrical cube from the ceiling descends and shuts it, and it makes kind of a whirring sound. It goes, "Meow." And then he says, "It'll just be a minute." And he turns to his partner, and he says, "Wolfgang, I don't think you're going to be able to get anyone to participate in your experiment. I think it's a little too far-fetched, and you're going to lose your job." And Wolfgang, the mad-looking scientist, he says, "No, it's always been my dream. I just need to find the right trainer. You trainers." And he points at the four of you. Do you listen to what he's about to say?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He says, I have a very, very important mission. It's very secret, and my partner may be right. I may lose my job, but this is all I've wanted to see more than anything in the world." And he is psychotic, literally. And beside him has a machine that is very similar to the fossil machine, but it is rather than a big cylindrical cube from the ceiling, there is like layering flaps of black, like sheets of like almost a futuristic metal, and there is a jewel dangling from the center inside of this container. And he says, "I've been doing research. I have cracked the code. I have achieved what none thought was possible, but I just need to find proof. I have discovered time travel." And when he says time, the big Pokemon next to him goes bong, and it echoes through the office, and everyone's like, "Wolfgang, shut up." And he says, no, hear me out. And he's like worried you're going to stop listening. Does anyone have a reaction to this information?
Cindy's curious. She's like, "Oh, really? Continue."
No, I believe him. Yeah, weirder things have happened.
Yeah, we've gone through a lot, so time travel doesn't seem that far fetched, honestly.
Gerald says, the only time he's tried this, it took the power out of the whole city, and the machine had to be repaired for a month. And Wolfgang says, no, I'm so close. It just has to be with the right specimen. And he's just very zany. Wolfgang is the zaniest man you've ever seen. And he digs through some shelves and some books, and he pulls out a notebook, and he has some sketches, some very, very obtuse and inaccurate sketches of Pokemon that at the top there's a scribble, and he says "successful time traveler," and it's like all terrible, like very sketchy looking. And he holds it in front of the party, and he says, "Have you seen any of these Pokemon?" And they're almost indecipherable. But if you are curious, you may roll an investigation to see if it's familiar.
I want to do that.
Roll investigation, baby.
Yeah.
Ooh, we.
14.
That's a nope out of 10 for me.
5.
25.
Plus
25.
Shit.
It's an 18.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone except for Gimli can more or less make out what's shown here. Or at least the Pokemon that they're familiar with. These sketches are real bad. But there are a couple Pokemon that are familiar to the party. Among those, Elodie instantly recognizes 2. One is a bad sketch of a Ralts. The other is a bad sketch of a Curlia. Among them, also, Cindy clearly recognizes a bad sketch of a Bagon, and then next to it, there is kind of an orbular circular Pokemon. Next to that one, there is a sketch of a little fiery bug, and it has arrows on either side of it, one that points up and one that points down. And Wolfgang says, I just need one of these Pokemon to enter my time machine. I need to test it. I know it'll work. I just need the right specimen. And there's other sketches too, but none of you are able to recognize them. He says, I know I'll lose my job for it, and I'm going to get in trouble with the energy company again, and it's going to be really bad, but I would quit my job if I could just see this one time. And when he says time, the Pokemon by his side goes bong really loud, and everyone in the office is like, Wolfgang Cunningham, I'm going to get your manager. And everyone's really mad because every time he says a specific word, his partner Pokemon makes a sound like a big old bell.
That's awesome.
It sounds risky bisky, but like, do we trust him?
I kind of want to try. I'm gonna be honest. This sounds fun.
Above the table, I know what this is. Shit, dude.
Yeah, because it would be like Slitherwing or whatever, or Roaring Moon.
I'm absolutely in.
Yeah, Iron Valley.
I'm absolutely in.
Again, there are many other Pokemon on his notebook as well, and he says, Look, these are the ones that I'm confident in. I'm not saying that other Pokemon wouldn't work with this, but with this technology and how my coworkers don't believe in me, I just don't want anything bad to happen. Okay, I've been doing my research. It just takes so much time. And when he says time, the Bronzong goes bong, and everyone in the office is getting really, really mad at him at this point. He says, look, if you have any of these Pokemon, I've been looking for trainers who have them. If you have any, I can only take one, and then I'm probably going to lose my job, but it will be worth it.
Is anybody else considering it?
I would want to ask Larvastar first, like get their permission before I'm like, yeet. But
you know it's viable. So,
but if you want Iron Valley or whatever,
Cindy and Elodie should rock paper scissors for it.
Rollies.
You could rollies, yeah. I mean,
okay.
This is all you guys. I'm not going to influence any rules here.
Like, I have no horse in this race, so it's all you guys.
I don't either, but I like a little drama.
What are we rolling?
Just a d20, and whoever rolls higher.
Okay.
I feel like we can make a more sophisticated game out of it.
What is your suggestion then?
I don't have a suggestion yet, but I feel like just a straight d20 is a little.
Let it also be known that according to Wolfgang, Cindy is in possession of 2 candidates. Elodie is in possession of 1. And Wolfgang is saying, if you want to be risky, you can try a different Pokemon, but it may not succeed, or maybe something could go wrong.
Yeah, I rolled a 10.
I rolled a 13.
Is this commitment?
This is commitment.
Is Elodie going
Key Lime, it's time.
Going to put Key Lime in a mysterious machine?
Yes.
Time to become non-binary.
Okay.
Key Lime becomes non-binary.
Elodie sends out Key Lime. Is there any sort of ceremony? Do you have established any sort of connection with this Pokemon that you've grown to love before you do something quite dubious with it, with a stranger?
I was about to say,
named
Wolfgang. you wanna make a link with your Curly and see what they have to say.
Yeah, I'll link with her telepathy, see how she's feeling, feel out if she's okay with this.
Okay, how is Elodie feeling with it currently?
I think she definitely thinks the idea is cool, is a little wary because she very much does love Key Lime, but is optimistic.
The thing with the Ralts line is that they're very empathic. So Curlia Key Lime has no particular, I mean, it has thoughts of its own, of course, but when it locks eyes with Elodie and it considers Elodie's emotions, those are the emotions that Key Lime has. So without making any sort of check necessarily, Key Lime is in touch with Elodie, and if Elodie wants to try something silly, then god damn it, Key Lime wants to try something silly too.
Let's do it then.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm so scared. But
throw Trubbish in the machine. No, kidding.
Throw Trubbish. How does future trash look?
I'm kidding.
It's not even your Pokemon.
I know.
G-Max Garbodor
there.
all
He
the
just
time.
throws up on the machine.
He throws up on the machine and breaks it.
Sorry.
My work. My cabbages.
That would be iconic, actually.
Wolfgang sees Key Lime exit their ball, and he gets visibly excited. He says, yes, that's one of them. That's one of them. And he's like jumping around and dancing. And Gerald says, now hold on, Wolfgang. If you're going to do this crazy thing, you need to let me finish this fossil first, because we don't want to interrupt this process. And he kind of looks at Gimli and is like, you want your fossil to be resurrected intact, correct?
That would be ideal, yes.
He says, just give me another minute. Just need a little bit more time. When Gerald says that, Bronzong goes bong, and the office is starting to get very frustrated with this. Regardless, as you wait it out, and perhaps Elodie's emotions, whether they are becoming more secure or less secure, Key Lime feels the same way. Key Lime is just kind of facing Wolfgang, Dr. Wolfgang Cunningham, eager, looking at the strange machine. And then there is a releasing sound, like a like a ventilation coming from the fossil resurrection machine. And the cylindrical tube opens up, and there's a cloud of steam, and standing in there, among the steam, facing forwards to the Quacko Packo, is a cute little blue dinosaur. It has 4 legs and a long neck, has a cool little fin about it. It looks kind of pretty.
Oh, hi.
Gerald says, say hello to your new Amora. And it lets out kind of a coo. It's like, oh.
Well, aren't you so cute?
It is true. This thing is very cute. It has almost as like eyebrows or eyelashes on its huge eyes. It truly looks like a baby. It has like fins or sails. Around the steam, there is a lot of condensation. As if Gimli moves closer towards this, it feels quite cold. There is a blue jewel in the side of its 4-legged body, and I just have to reiterate that it is very cute.
Nice. I'll call you Littlefoot.
Littlefoot!
I was about to post that for like a picture, not even knowing that that's what you were going to name it.
Let's go! Welcome to the Packo Littlefoot. Does Gimli go for a capture or just have it around, or what's the plan?
I mean, it's just experience life, so I'll have it walk around for a little while before I present it the ball.
Sure, yeah. It is kind of stuck on a pedestal, and Gerald seems not keen to move it. Do you want it to chill on the machine, or do you want to take it down or move it, or what do you want to do?
I can take it down, yeah.
Okay. As you place your hands on Littlefoot for the first time, it smiles. It has a friend, and it knows life. Well, look at this. This is very interesting. You place it on the ground, and you move your hands away, as your hands are very cold. They are icy, icy cold. Even though this thing is a baby, its neck probably stretches about 4 feet tall. It's getting close to Cindy-sized, despite the fact it was just born. As Gimli moves it, it is kind of normally heavy. It kind of feels like it may be a rock type. It has a rocky, kind of rough exterior, but it is also very, very cold. Congratulations on Littlefoot. I'm not sure what else to say, unless you have any more flavor for it.
No, I think it was great.
Okay, we
Very
will roll its attributes later.
Of course.
Wolfgang Cunningham, Dr. Wolfgang Cunningham, could not wait for Amora to be finished being resurrected. And he kind of kneels down, and he locks eyes with Key Lime. Just gets a solid read on this Curlia. And then he looks at Elodie, and Wolfgang says, "Trainer, I'm very, very passionate about this, but I want to make sure that you're fully okay with this. And because this is a Pokemon, I've done a lot of research on. I'm pretty certain it'll work, but I just want you to be sure that there are risks involved, and I'm going to lose my job, but that's fine because this is all I've ever wanted to do. Or do you give me permission to do this?"
Yes, and I'm also gonna give Key Lime and Elodie's party time in case something goes wrong.
Ooh, great. So that, to be clear, that's an inspiration bonus, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay. Dr. Wolfgang Cunningham places his hands near Curlia as if to pick up Key Lime. Do you give permission to do so?
Yes.
Okay. He places her onto the supposed time machine, and he says, "Here we go to the future." And he pulls a comedically large lever And all of the lights in the office go out and everyone's computers turn off. And they're like, what the hell, Wolfgang? And they're all so upset. And this machine from the ceiling, it twirls and it spins and it starts creating an impressive light. And then it seals itself shut. These black panels fold into each other, and now it is just a solid wall. And there is silence. And there is nothing that is happening. It is dark. And people are waiting with bated breath, except for those that are hitting their computer monitors in frustration because they lost all their work. Elodie, roll a d20.
Got it. 17.
17. That's a pretty good roll. After a moment, the building comes back to life. All the power seems to be restored, and the machine opens up. And similar to the fossil resurrection, there is a cloud of steam that emerges. And curled up, almost in a resting position, sleeping, is Key Lime. But Key Lime looks a little bit different. The horns on her head are pulsing and glowing with a pink color, and she is taking a snooze. Do you receive Key Lime?
Yes.
Okay. You scoop up Key Lime. She is not conscious, but she doesn't seem injured. There is something very uncanny and odd about the horns on her head. She is not the way that she used to be. But again, she doesn't necessarily seem injured. She is just different. And if anything, she is strangely lighter than you remember the last time holding her. Wolfgang, Dr. Wolfgang Cunningham is elated. He says, yes, it worked. It worked. My dreams, they've come true. And he is like gathering up all of his papers as security guards march upstairs. The men you saw before in sunglasses and suits are running towards him, and they're saying, you heard from the president. This was the last time you were to do this. And he says, I don't care. It was a success. I did it. Ah-ha! And his partner Pokemon, the Bronzong, is just carefully watching and floating alongside. And Gerald looks exasperated, and he says, as much as that guy is a pain, I'm going to miss him in the office, but I don't know what they're going to do with this stupid machine. If you peeked inside the machine, you would see that the jewel that was hoised in the middle of it is cracked. It has been damaged, seemingly. And Elodie is in possession of a strange Key Lime.
Strange Key Lime. Can I try and wake her up?
Sure.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Schmidt says, man, what a crazy time we're having.
As that is said, as Wolfgang is being escorted out of his previous workplace, there is one final loud bong that shakes the room. And everyone is so relieved to see them leave. Elodie, do you attempt to stir Key Lime awake?
Yes.
Okay. How do you do so?
Just gonna shake her a little bit.
Okay.
And say, hey, wake up.
You do that. After some nudging, instead of waking up kind of groggily, perhaps an animal that we are familiar with would, if you stirred them awake. I'm just thinking of a cat. I don't know why. Instead of that, she immediately jumps to attention. When you nudge her, her eyes are immediately open, and they lock with yours, and her face is very serious. You look in her eyes, and they are digitized. Her eyes are now pixelated. She is hardly breathing. She's certainly alive, but something has changed. Normally, you are used to looking at Key Lime and seeing some degree of affection. And looking in her strange pixelated eyes, you know that there's a degree of trust. But Key Lime is different.
Do I still have telepathy with her?
Do you attempt to engage?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Rather than it being kind of like a cloudy kind of fog that is being lifted where you can kind of share your emotions, it is almost sillily kind of like the Matrix. When as you're establishing a connection, in the foreground of your thoughts, you see strings of characters and letters and numbers, and many of which you're not even familiar with. And within your mind's eye, you see Key Lime's face. This new Key Lime, not the old Key Lime. There's a familiar air to it. The emotional connection, as you establish it, there's a recognition. This is for sure Key Lime. This is not a different Curlia. This is the same Key Lime. And in your mind's eye, you do see a smile on Key Lime's face.
Well, that's good. I'm gonna pat her on the head.
You do that. Roll a dexterity check.
Okay. 15.
Okay. Yeah, as you pat her on the head, you kind of like scrape by her left horn. As you're patting her on the head, she seems to have like no reaction on her face, but with your connection, you know that she enjoys the touch. As you scrape by her horn, your finger grazes the side of it, and it makes a uncanny laser sound. It goes as you touch it with your finger.
Whoa, Keelan makes laser sounds now. This is epic.
Are you still holding her?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. She is calm in your arms. Everyone in the office is kind of like looking at you guys for a moment, like, well, whatever Wolfgang did, it must have been kind of interesting. But now that the power's back, they're all getting back to work.
Yeah. Schmidt addresses the party, and he's like, "Yeah, it's getting kind of late. We should get back to the hostel before we run out of time."
You can hear clamoring and shouting from outside. Cheers of joy as Wolfgang Cunningham is leaving his permanent place of work. But through the window that you are standing fairly close to, you hear another resonant bong from the Bronzon. What's next for the Packo? That's a bit of a moment.
Go sleep.
It's like 1 p.m.
Oh.
Pick it up.
Is
play with the new dinosaur? Can we play fetch?
Sure.
Does it play fetch?
It might. It's a baby.
Does it play fetch? I don't know. It literally just started existing. So,
we could go to the Pokemart and get a ball to play fetch.
Drew, we haven't been to the Pokemart in this town yet. We have to see which family member resides here.
Great. So we're gonna leave the office.
I think so.
Sure. You are going to take the stairs or the elevator down?
The stairs.
Okay.
Gotta get a
big old dinosaur with me walking around. I think I need to take the stairs.
Sure, yeah. Your new friend Littlefoot is confused about the stairs at first. It's kind of looking at them and then looking at Gimli and then looking at the stairs, and it's just kind of not really sure.
I'd like walk in front of him like, here we go, little buddy.
Okay. Yeah.
I've raised a Pokemon child before. The one didn't have a heartbeat, but he needed to learn things.
Excellent. Yeah. It figures it out eventually with your coaching and your patience. The plan is to go to the Pokemart at this point, or just go outside and play fetch or something. Basically, you're not trying to be in the Devon building, right?
Yeah, we're definitely.
Yeah, I feel like Gimli could ride this Pokemon.
It is cool.
Maybe not yet.
Size descriptions are accurate.
You are correct, because he's literally, the neck is literally almost as tall as me.
Yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, if it's almost Cindy size, then I think Gimli could.
Gimli smaller than Cindy. Height.
I'm 4'11", yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget how small I actually am.
Just a funny thought.
Yeah. Eventually, especially as if it evolves, which should eventually happen, ideally. I could definitely
ride
into
that battle on a dinosaur.
As you descend the stairs and prepare to exit, the Quacko Packo kind of reflects on some strange positivity, perhaps some one new friend and one seemingly positively altered friend, part of the Quacko Packo. And for the first time in a few days, everyone is thinking about how things may not be so bad. As they are crossing over the large glass dome on the floor that has all the fossils on the inside, they start to turn left to exit the building. Walking in is a man who stands at just under 6 feet tall. He's wearing a baseball cap. He has a bag. He's dressed very modestly in jeans, and he is dressed mostly on his upper half in red. And he starts to walk into the Devon building, and that is where we will end the session. Hello, and thank you for listening to the latest episode of Dunsparce and Drampa. Don't forget to check all of our links on our link tree, like our Discord, our Twitter, our Patreon, etc. Speaking of Patreon, thank you so much to our latest patron, Loyal Cantaloupe. Really appreciate your support. We have a merch store as well, whose offerings are expanding every single day. And all of us involved, me, the 4 players, and our editor, are so grateful for all of the support you give us, your kind words, your 5-star reviews on your listening platform of choice. You'd be surprised how much all of those little things help us out. More than anything, we just enjoy interacting with you on Discord and Twitter, so don't forget to join us there. As always, have a great week, and we will see you on Tuesday.
No thoughts at empty.
Yep.
We are
There's
all
a lot of
ghosts.
Trauma's Pog. Trauma is great.
Is it?
Looks like Bruno from Encanto.
I didn't see that, but yes, that's
I have not seen it either, but I've seen Bruno.
Right.
But yeah.
We don't talk about Schmidt.
We don't talk about Schmidt.